It's just something different in my opinion. Although there are many truckers in the area, they are mostly responsible for Lisa Kelly's transformation into the tough icon she is today, because to the cold roads, adventurous experiences, and tragic events that molded her life. As a trailblazing truck driver negotiating the treacherous snowy routes of Canada and Alaska, she won hearts on ice road truckers. She gained notoriety as a daring truck driver. She has, however, experienced some terrible losses and the difficulties that come with being famous, like many others. Eager to learn, then continue to observe. The girl who didn't follow the rules. It was said that no woman could make it on this path. However, Lisa Kelly responded, "I can." Growing up on an Alaskan farm, Lisa gradually discovered her passion for driving. Lisa demonstrated perseverance, skill, and hard work by winning motocross races and effortlessly steering large oil field rigs. She made her debut in the third season of Ice Road Truckers in 2009, bringing with her a record-breaking quantity of views. Lisa's reputation and admiration among other truckers and fans were solidified by her appearance. As she raced from the icy Arctic Ocean to Prudhoe Bay while steering a 100-foot pipe, her listeners were immediately enthralled by her demonstration of perseverance and hard effort. She emerged as a force and a novelty. Nevertheless, she was written off as eye candy in the trucking community despite her bravery and enthusiasm. However, Lisa remained resolute, confronting the doubters and shattering stereotypes about women in the ice trucking industry. The pioneer. Lisa Kelly was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the early days of December 1980 into a loving family. That family moved to a farm in Sterling, Alaska, 6 years later. Lisa referred to herself as a tomboy, possibly as a result of being exposed to outdoor life. But in all honesty, Lisa wasn't just a tomboy, she was amazing. She became an expert in skydiving, hang gliding, motocross, and horseback riding. The fact that Lisa had ended up performing all of these things was no accident. She was naturally gifted at all of them. After being declared a state freestyle motocross champion once, Lisa quickly understood that the rush she experienced was not only the joy of victory, but also the power of speed and adrenaline. She had repressed it, of course. She tried studying and going to college, but it didn't work out because of the fire and the need to be on the roadway. Lisa left college life at Cornerstone University after just one semester and went back to Alaska. She worked at pizza delivery services and petrol stations there before being reminded of her first passion. As a wake-up call, Lisa went to work and obtained her first commercial license to operate school buses. The fact that driving kids was the first step toward becoming a great truck driver is almost comical. Lisa's path to success started when she obtained an entry-level job at Carl Transportation using the license. She came across outspoken doubt in a setting that could hardly contain her energy, yet Carl Conveyance was not her high point. However, this equipped her for the suspicion she would subsequently face from the creators of History Channel. When they told her, "We picked you for eye candy," she worked to show that she was superior to their perception of her. But when Lisa heard this, she told the world, "No, I'm more than that, and I'm going to prove that." As the youngest and only female trucker on the Alaskan highway, Lisa Kelly made her Dalton Highway debut in the season of Ice Road Truckers 2009. Lisa won hearts after navigating 149 lead back-to-back ice crossings between Prudhoe Bay and Fairbanks with ease. Lisa rapidly became a fan favorite, and the show attracted around 3,500,000 viewers countrywide that year. They respected her raw hardness. She was a disciplined woman with strong morals, even on TV. Lisa revealed in a 2022 interview with Overdrive that she was motivated not only by discipline but also by her male and female fans. She worked harder since she was able to motivate others to realize their potential. Looper praised Lisa's courage in an article. She was renowned for her originality and for taking many risks when she appeared in several seasons of a show. She didn't only take part. In the process, she gained the admiration of her supporters. On the red rails and ice bridges, she carried 100-foot loads, large oil rigs, and oversized pipes across the mountain and tundra borders. George Spears immediately cautioned novices, "You learn the road fast or you end up dead." Lisa had taken on that much load with excellence. Interviewers inquired if this was the norm for rookies. She had distanced herself from the amateur and rookie drivers. She had changed from being a typical truck driver. She was now the center of attention for female drivers who wanted to work as truckers. However, Lisa faced her first and persistent online pushback at that time. Like all celebrity jabs, it began, but Lisa quickly became known as the stupid blonde. Even though her career had nothing to do with her personal life, she was surprisingly subjected to online trolls who scrutinized every step she made. Lisa acknowledged in a recent interview that she was offended by some of these remarks. "Nothing in my life is private anymore," she replied. "People don't realize you're a person, not a fictional character on television." Lisa's husband Travis encouraged her to ignore their criticism when it started to consume her thoughts, but she insisted that their remarks couldn't be about her. Her brakes on the trucks continued to be unyielding despite the loudness. "I'm not attempting to outdo the boys. I wish to perform my duties." It was a statement that ought to have been praised for being straightforward, but when a force was involved, nothing was straightforward. Lisa's words turned into a proclamation that had an impact everywhere. Debate tables were set up in internet forums to analyze the essence of a lady who defied categorization. Lisa had gained more than just a fan base by the conclusion of Ice Road Truckers Season 3. On the driving range, her tenacity defined her, and she had demonstrated her skill, which was worthy of respect. However, we are all aware that every career has its challenges, particularly those that involve excitement and hidden expenses. Let's get right into Lisa Kelly's terrifying triumphs. Over the course of several Ice Road Truckers seasons, Lisa's transformation from a rookie to a well-known figure was shaped by unforeseen circumstances. Lisa encountered dangers in every chapter, which only heightened the excitement that kept her going. Although she appeared to be just another motorist, there was something unique about her. Lisa's first appearance. The success of Lisa's Ice Road Truckers Season 3 premiere paved the way for Seasons 4 and 5. Lisa continued to tow greater weights in the new seasons. Her ancestry went deeper into Canada. Lisa had taken on more responsibilities in Season 4, managing supply runs to isolated settlements in Manitoba and Ontario, including Oxford House, Red Sucker Lake, and Victoria Beach. In Season 5, Lisa turned into a grounded beast in the trucking world. Lisa was a champion truck driver who was recognized for using the Glen and George Parks routes to transport a large convoy from Anchorage. Prior to entering the Dalton Highway, she completed all of these tasks. As one of the few truckers to have survived the ice road that long, Lisa was inducted into the Hall of Fame when she ultimately left the show in Season 12. The Canadian-American co-production of Ice Road, which ran from 2009 to 2017, praised Lisa's courage for navigating the route despite its treacherous slope. Lisa made the decision that Alaska's difficulties were no longer difficult, not to further validate her already prosperous career. Thus she traveled the most treacherous roads in the Himalayas with Ice Road Trucker. Lisa had established herself as a dominant force in India's winding mountain roads by the conclusion of the first season, which aired in 2010. History was provided as Lisa started the quest. Despite being informed she wouldn't make it, Lisa defied all the rules and became the only person from North America to finish the journey. Then, as if this was enough to solidify her abilities, Lisa turned to face the infamous death route in the Andes. Andean routes were considered so hazardous that drivers would often leave before reaching their destination. Near misses. The entire globe sat on pins because of the vivid and intimidating recollection of the Andes mission. We believed Lisa Kelly was gone when her truck broke down on a Salt Lake crossing. A minute before Sub-Zero night engulfed her, however, she recovered and fixed a water hose. Lisa would have experienced scares before. An ice trucker's career wouldn't be complete without a few encounters on the harsh ice roads. Lisa had her first serious scare on Atigun Pass during a huge pipe hole in Season 3 of Ice Road Truckers, almost avoiding a precipice that would have sent her off a cliff. She slipped into a ditch to avoid a plow in Season 4, which introduced a new slide to fear. A truck driver's life is full with excitement and adrenaline, as was previously mentioned. However, there must also be recollections of times when fear was at the wheel. It wasn't simply another day on the ice roads or another Hollywood interview. For the first time, Lisa acknowledged her loneliness and fatigue issues in 2013. It was unavoidable. Peaceful seclusion was the result of long days at Fairbanks, but gradually the silence got too loud to ignore. When Lisa felt this way, she said she used audiobooks and podcasts to re-engage with the outside world. However, you need more than audiobooks when you're in life-threatening situations. For Lisa, the only way to survive was to go back to what she knew. Lisa would get into the truck for her special alone time when the silence became too loud for her to handle. However, she was frequently forced to choose between being on camera and having a memorable moment. Another obstacle Lisa faced in her profession was the strain of reality TV. Scenes must have life, arcs, and twists, she said. Lisa acknowledged that she was occasionally instructed to purposefully puncture ice in order to simulate a near fall, only to see a real castmate fall in the same location. Because she was informed that she had been cast in part as eye candy, producers frequently pressured her to say things that weren't very Lisa. The majority of Lisa's difficulties resulted from her refusal to pretend to be stupid because actual lives were at stake. The cost of success eventually knocked on her door. The mission to the Himalayas was successful. Lisa had already made a reputation for herself in the hearts of people by the end of season 5. However, because Lisa had missed the season, rumors started to circulate when season 6 premiered in 2012. Fans were certain Lisa didn't return, due to a fallout or a contract disagreement, even though producers emphasized that she decided to stay away because she was worn out from having 2 filming schedules. Really, combining Ice Road Truckers and Deadliest Road schedules had become crazy and hectic. Lisa explained later in an interview. Later seasons of the 2 shows saw a minor decline in her load counts and screen time. They were unable to fill in the gaps as the reality switched the focus to other tales and drivers. Lisa went out. Despite her struggles, Lisa found it much more difficult to attend TV after her close friend Daryl Ward passed away. For many years he had been her hauling partner. She also had to deal with the loss of their combined firm without him. In addition to the loss, she had to cope with the demands of celebrity, fear, empowerment, and fatigue. And Lisa's prosperous career came with all of these. She claimed that she occasionally felt suffocated by the cameras that were always on her. She believed that being watched all the time had curtailed her independence. But as long as they offered a stage on which to encourage others, she could persevere. Trucking was more than just excitement, risk, and adrenaline for Lisa. According to her, trucking is like a family. Although it helped her feel less alone, she was greatly burdened by the responsibility of being the face of perilous ice roads. Although she had overcome male prejudices, the knowledge that she was standing in for all women in a harsh world was frequently too much to bear. Removal from the limelight. Fans of the Ice Road Truckers were perplexed by Lisa's absence in season 6, which debuted in 2012, following a strong run through seasons 3, 5, and 7, 11. Rumor had it that she had been let go from the show. But producer Tom Beers later explained that she chose to leave after experiencing and coping with the unrelenting grind of filming Deadliest Roads and Ice Road Truckers, which she described as becoming frantic and crazy. Most people are unaware, though, that she made the decision to step away at the same time that she lost her business partner and close friend Daryl Ward in a plane crash in 2016, which completely upended her world. Her split was emotional as well as contractual. After years of waiting, fans were expecting her to return in season 7 of the program, but she never did. Her screen time had decreased, and when she did show up, the spark that had previously marked her started to fade. Rumor had it that the creative turmoil that raged behind the scenes and the burnout she was experiencing were some of the reasons she left the program. After she publicly questioned being portrayed as eye candy, some industry insiders conjectured that she and the filmmakers had a falling out over the way her tale was being presented. The limited stereotype was not all that Lisa Kelly was. They claimed that she resisted letting the show's creators control her story, particularly when it minimized her talent and perseverance. On rare occasions, nevertheless, she acknowledged that there were days when she was unable to breathe. Although there hasn't been an official investigation to verify the specifics, there were indications in her interviews that she struggled with spiraling anxiety and tiredness as a result of constant filming, loneliness, and pressure to meet certain standards. Public perception and norm. Her mental health started to suffer as a result of these demands. Lisa started talking candidly behind the TV screens about how the pressure of expectation has impacted her. She talked about the oppressive loneliness she experienced while waiting on isolated roads. She also acknowledged that even while she enjoyed driving, the camera teams made her feel quite constrained. Her dedication to the show eventually began to wane as her emotional honesty conflicted with the expectations of reality TV and an industry that valued toughness over sensitivity. As her dedication waned, so did her passion for the trucking status quo. They hated people who sought a balance between work and life because of the way the industry was set up, particularly for a famous figure. She brought up the fact that very few women drove trucks, which worried her but was not surprising considering the lack of respect, encouragement, and useful facilities. Her days of being taken advantage of by the camera were thus over. She now talked about the difficulties she was facing, like the recurrent longings for her home, the strain of heavy loads and strict schedules throughout life, and the sharp contrast between the glitz of television and the complete isolation of real life. She was also burdened by the weight of her loss. The loss of Daryl Ward in 2016 rocked Lisa and the community. In addition to being buddies, they frequently put in long hours together and co-founded a trucking company. She took some time to mourn after his death, stating that the tragedy made her stop and think, and that she didn't want the cameras to be there while she was grieving. For years, the cameras never captured Lisa's voice resonating between ice-cracked mirrors and deserted taxis. Although she had attempted to conceal it throughout the show, the fractures were showing more clearly as her inner struggles conflicted with her public persona as Alaska's brave trucker. Every time she answered the question, "Why aren't you smiling more?" it was because the road was attempting to kill me. Her admirers heard a voice of constraint rather than commercial glitz when she alluded to breaks because of the panic attacks and respiratory issues she was experiencing. She had run out of space to perform, and the actual weight of her existence was too much for scripting, as seen by her disappearance from the camera. After all these years, Lisa is still torn. In recent interviews, she bemoaned the fact that TV reduced people to 2D characters who were compressed for TV arcs, while simultaneously applauding the platform it provided. In a podcast interview, she said she enjoyed driving because it allowed her to hang out with cool people, but ironically, after the camera crews departed, it made her feel even more alone. She knew that withdrawing from that world meant losing her celebrity, but she couldn't jeopardize her soul or her sanity. Lisa's silence reverberated more than any static on a CB radio. Trucking must be a job you can do for a career, but it's hard to get women into it without reform. In a world that used to support her at every turn, her journey veered inward and became a quest for healing, authenticity, and a path ahead. A life on thin ice. Lisa Kelly's marriage served as a haven from the demands of the paparazzi lifestyle and cameras. Travis Kelly, a native of Aleut, Alaska and a motorcycle technician, was her spouse. Throughout her life and career orals, Travis was her constant anchor for 4 years. On their small Wasilla, Alaska ranch, they established a peaceful existence where they loved spending time together and caring for rescue horses and pets, including tiny horses Rocky and Tansy. "Even though I'm not riding him," Lisa took to greater measures to keep her personal life off camera, including with Tennessee Walker Gypsy and My Tiny Miniature. She was frequently depicted on television as a fearless and gregarious individual. However, since her house was the only place she had away from the reality TV character, she found solace there and treasured her privacy. She carried the heavy burden of expectation as the embodiment of female tenacity in a male-dominated field. Even though her fans applauded her for her toughness, she acknowledged that the attention it received had negatively affected her mental health. She confessed that she frequently felt overburdened by the requests to serve as the inspirational figure.
She admitted in an interview that there were days when she was having trouble breathing. The fact that I'm still a TV personality also didn't help, nor did the internet abuse she experienced. Lisa frequently had to cope with trolls who made fun of her abilities, looks, and errors, which typically increased her self-doubt and eroded her sense of value. It was missed by the producers. They thought she was gorgeous, and she would only be that as long as she continued to bring in the views. She started to struggle with her public role and representation, torn between appreciation for her platform and annoyance at the caricature she had become. Was she a victim of the trucking industry, or was she encouraging women to pursue trucking? After Show Life, Lisa hoped for some respite from the demands of ICE road truckers when the program concluded in 2017, but instead she encountered even more mayhem. A truck driver could not find regular employment. Her sense of identity and community belonging diminished along with the spotlight. She did, however, take some comfort in endorsements such as hosting Chevron's Destination Further series, and she also made time to rediscover her passion for horses. The changeover wasn't seamless, though. Compared to the TV rush life she had previously experienced, the normal work boredom felt empty, such as an entire tack room in a campsite. A 3-horse with a tiny rifle is exactly what this is. When questioned in a podcast, "It's My Time," Lisa characterized trucking as a lifeline. You know, without the cameras, just by yourself with the road, enjoying music and podcasts and taking in the wide sky. Lisa's story reflected America's love affair with strong women, but it also highlights its failure to nurture them, she said. Despite Lisa's frequent criticism of the industry's disregard for the needs of female truckers, her fame encouraged countless women to pursue CDLs and dreams beyond gender norms, but there was little infrastructure to support them.